everybody, Z Garcia here. Today I'm taking a look at a product in the Disney Lorcana line of products. This is Illumineer's Quest Palace Heist, which is a cooperative or solitaire box in which you are going to be playing against Jafar here, trying to win before he defeats you and gains all the power and the crown and, well, you know, buries you in sand or something like that. So that is the idea here. You can play with multiple players. You can play solitaire against him. This is going to come with the cards you need to run Jafar and 2 decks of cards that you can choose to shuffle up and play right out of the box, but tear up and put in your collection, or you can play with your own deck of cards against Jafar. Now, this is the second time that this has been done. The first one was Illumineer's Quest, Ursula's Return, which was the first time they did this cooperative idea. But I'm going to be focusing on this new one, and then I'll show you some of the, or I'll tell you about some of the differences, and explain if I think this is a good purchase for you if you want to play Lorcana cooperatively. Let's take a look at how this works. So here we're taking a look at the game, already a few rounds in progress. We are having a game against Jafar, of course, with 2 players playing over here. And when you're setting up the game, you are going to be selecting what battleground you want to play on, i.e. what difficulty you would like to attempt the game at. That is represented on these cards right here, with 2 cards having an easy and normal difficulty. They recommend you begin with one of those. And then hard and extreme difficulty. So you can set it wherever you want to. This is going to change some of the abilities you have available to you. And you can do these abilities right here by spending some of your lore once per turn. You can cash that back in and do something pretty powerful, which is going to have to be the balancing act you do in order to take down Jafar and what he's attempting to achieve. Now, in the game, you're going to be getting this board, all of these tokens you see. You have Jafar's deck, you have his card here, and this cardboard tile that represents the reforged crown that he is attempting to steal. And then you've also got these 2 decks, which happen to be the ones I've shuffled up and I'm playing with. But you can play with any Lorcana deck you want to. You can modify these. You can do whatever you want to. Besides that, it also comes with this little sort of mini booster pack, which you may open when you defeat him. Or, you know, you can do whatever you want to because you bought this. So that is that. And then these you can choose to keep in the box as well, or again, mix it up. So we are going to be starting with Jafar here going next. He begins the game as well. And there's a few steps that he has to follow. They're a little bit different from the usual steps that he would follow, or that a player, rather, would follow. So the very first thing we have to do is ready all of Jafar's cards. He has here this, the row is this area. And so he is going to ready Iago there. And he has a mechanical snake, which is an item, was already ready. Next, we are going to do any effects that would happen at the beginning of his turn. That includes the Reforged Crown, which has an ability that says that at the beginning of their turn, whoever controls that gets 2 lore. And he begins with it, so he's at 8 already. I've had a few rounds. He is going to go to 10. Now, with 2 players, something happens at 10 and at 30. And that is the amount of cards he's going to draw is going to go up from 2 now to 3 cards up here. And then once he hits 30, he'll go from 3 to 4. By the way, if he ever gets to 40, or if one of the players is out of cards, can't draw, then he will win. For us to win, we have to have all of the players hit what they need, 20 lore, as in a normal game, and they have to have the crown. So you need to achieve both of those things. When he hits 40, if he does not have the crown, by the way, he just steals it and wins immediately. So keeping it when he hits 40 is not going to prevent you from losing the game. And now we've done the ready set, any abilities that might matter right now. This one, for example, sees the crown here, would have stolen it when it showed up. But he's able to exhaust this and do something as well. We're going to go to resolve the row right now, and we just go through it. So the characters are going to have their own text. They have their own abilities. Normally, if a character can quest, right, they can gather lore, then they will do that. And Iago here certainly can do that. So he is going to exhaust and go up to 11. And then the mechanical snake can exhaust. This is banish the item. And then he gains 2. So he's up to 13. This item is banished. Now we go to draw. This happens now. The number of cards he draws is represented right there. So 3. He will take them from the scenario deck and he puts them in this pile right here. And now we're actually going to reveal them from there one at a time and see what happens. So here's the way this is going to work out. If you draw a card and you have enough ink in your inkwell, which is right there, to play the card, then you play it. And he does not have to exhaust this or anything. He just has to have it. If you do not have enough, if this card had an 8 printed there, let's say, then instead it becomes ink. And you flip over the next one. And that's how you go through his entire hand. This one's playable right now. So he is going to play it. This is a Treasure Guardian here. It says Shifting Sands. Illumineers can't use battleground abilities. It's shutting this down right here. So that shows up. We reveal the next one. This is a 4. He has 4, so he can play that. It's ability that says Return to Me. When Jafar plays this character, he plays all items named Mechanical Snake from his discard pile for free. Well, that is very unfortunate. There's only 1, but that's still not good. He steals the crown, which he already has. And then we reveal this one, which is also playable. It says it's an action, Sands Blast. Jafar deals 1 damage to each opposing character, then put this card in his inkwell face down. Okay, we are going to deal 1 to Bolt here, 1 to Anna, and 1 to Sven. There. With that done, we have now revealed everything, and he is done, and it goes to the players. The players are going to be taking fairly standard turns. Ready, set, draw, play out whatever you want to. You can, attack any characters that are exhausted. You can quest. You can do all of the usual things. You will also notice there's a location space over here. And while Jafar has any locations in play, then the crown cannot be stolen from him. Now, if we attack this enough, if we clear it, if we manage to get rid of it somehow, then each player may, on their turn, exhaust a character to attempt to steal that crown. That's all they're doing, just exhausting a character. And it has to be legally something they can exhaust, not something they just played. So if this player does that and this player does that, then this crown will go to one of the players. And you get to decide who takes it. So this player perhaps will take it, and then at the beginning of their turn, they'll get their 2 free lore, and they'll have it until Jafar steals it again. And you're trying to, again, both of you, or if you're playing alone, just you, or if you play with 3 players, all 3 of you, get to the 20 lore you need and have the crown, and that's how you win the game. Now, like I said, these abilities here are going to cost you that lore, so you need to know when you want to cash that back in order to do something very powerful. And the ones here are, there's 3 options. One costs you 2 lore and says, ready chosen character. They can't quest for the rest of this turn. So you can ready somebody and attack again. There's another one that costs 2 that says, chosen Illumineer draws a card. You can draw for somebody else. You'll see that players often fall out of sync here. So the one in the front could spend 2 to have somebody else draw a card, because if they get to 20, it does not matter. The other player is at 14. Well, you're not close to winning yet. So you might as well spend a couple and get a little closer. And then the last one here, which costs you 4 lore, is deal 5 damage to a chosen location. That's very, very strong and important because you got to get them out of there so you can steal that crown. So there you go. That should give you an idea of what's going on in the game and how you play against Jafar. Let's go ahead and go back up top. I enjoyed Ursula's Return when that came out. I thought that they did a really good job making the game, or making basically a system that would play against you, so that you could get usage of your Lorcana cards when you don't have an opponent to sit across from you. And that's really great. In fact, it was very early in the game's lifespan that they did that, and I was very happy about that. But I have to say, this new set, the Palace Heist, kind of blows the first one away. It's a much better box. The original one, you'll notice I have this because it was not really a box you would keep. You would open that box, it looked good on store shelves, but then you had no real way to store the game, and now you do with this box. In fact, I'm keeping both of them in this same box, which is fantastic. So much better box, a proper board, a real cardboard board here. Just a better, more, well put together set of componentry. I still have a small issue with some of the language in the rulebook. I wish they would have clarified some of the, niggling issues between their first go at this with the Ursula set and this new one with Jafar set. But it's pretty much nitpicking. I also think they stepped up the interest and difficulty a little bit. The game now utilizes locations in an interesting way. It makes them kind of part of the core because Jafar brings his own locations, and they really do hinder you. And the entire package is just a more refined, more interesting challenge, which makes sense because they, had only done this once before. So I'm just thankful that they went ahead and made it a much more interesting, leveled up, well-produced box and kept the line alive. Because I was a little bit concerned that this Ursula's Return would be a one-and-done kind of affair. But seeing that they're continuing to support the line really makes me excited to see what else they do in the future in this all versus the game system. Really enjoy. The 2 decks that come in here are fun. They're solid. They're going to give you a nice variety of cards. But the star is, of course, the villain himself. And it's a really neat fight where you're trying to take this reforged crown away. You have to eliminate locations to be able to get to it. He can take it back sometimes. The whole thing is clever and interesting. So for me, this box is one I certainly recommend if you've got Lorcana cards kicking around the house, you're not playing with anybody else, but you want to dust them off and you want to play either solitaire or co-op against this. I think this is a winner. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. That's a seal of approval. Definitely recommend you grab yourself a copy of this, especially because I've seen it on sale lately. It seems to be pretty much half price everywhere I've seen, and it's an absolute steal at that point. I think you should grab it. So that is Lorcana Illumineer's Quest Palace Heist from me, folks. 8 out of 10. That's going to do it. My name is Z Garcia. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey, thanks for watching another video here on the Dice Tower. We really appreciate you stopping by and checking our things out. Thanks so much for joining us today. And hey, if you really like what we're doing here at the Dice Tower, then there are different ways to support the Dice Tower. One of those ways is through Patreon. We have links in the description of this video, and we have links to lots of other things we do down there, so definitely check it out. But either way, we're glad you watched us. Tell your friends about the Dice Tower. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vassell, and I hope you enjoyed this video.